Okay. Boker Tov Boka and welcome. I'm Marianne Altschul. I know so many of you out there. This is such an amazing, amazing thing to see you all here. And I see new faces and new friends who I've met today, so thank you for coming. And I'm the co-creator of this space, which is going to be called officially Hamakom, but there will be other people who will talk to you about the name. And I wanted to open by confessing to you that I honestly don't feel that we did this. I believe that this space is something that the divine wanted to manifest right here, right now. And we were merely his or her instruments to make this happen. We were actually used for the purpose of co-creation. It is God, the source of all life, who created this radically amazing space. How do I know this? Because the idea of creating an outdoor sanctuary with a labyrinth inside of it was met with little to no resistance. And all of the cooperative components showed up just like magic. When in the Jewish community is a new idea met with little resistance and rushed to completion? I don't know when. Matt, do you know when? How about never? So really, this is something that really is so much bigger than each and every one of us. To begin the program, I want to call up Amy Pessa, and she is my dear friend. She's an expert in Jewish mysticism and spirituality and is herself a spiritual director. Amy's a highly respected teacher who has taught at Temple Beth El, the JCC, DKJA, Congregation Sharei Kodesh, where she is currently the co-president of her congregation, and the Melton Adult Mini School. Amy's newest educational endeavor is with Aleph, Alliance for Jewish Renewal, where she is in the rabbinic ordination program. We welcome Amy Pessa, my good friend and soon-to-be rabbi.
I remember the day as if it were yesterday. Marianne called to tell me about her dream and the beginnings of the perhaps actualization. Amy, it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen. Really, after 10 years, it's going to happen. Not quite sure what was about to happen. I inquired and took in her excited response. The outdoor prayer space for Donna Klein, the one I've been dreaming about for 10 years. As a past camper of Ramon the Poconos, I knew, along with Representative Deutsch, I knew, as well as Marianne, a past camper of Ramon, Canada, the power of an outdoor prayer space. As the days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months, I accompanied Marianne on the dreaming, the visioning, and the creation of this sacred space that was to be called Hamakom, the place. The many pieces that had to happen in order to bring this to fruition were quite numerous. Administrative meetings, collaboration between various organizations, permits, purchasing, installation, pavers for the labyrinth, benches, trees, additional landscaping, artwork, decoration, signage, a lot of pieces pulled together for the building. I'm so honored to be here this morning at the dedication of this new beautiful addition to the Federation campus. The coincidence that our parasha, our weekly Torah portion of Shmini, speaks about the opening day of the Mishkan, the portable tabernacle that traveled with the Jews in the desert, well, this coincidence is not lost on me. In fact, I am reminded about one of my favorite quotes from Albert Einstein, who said, "Coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous." I contend that the timing of this dedication is no coincidence. The Mishkan was dedicated on the 8th day, and Hamakom is being dedicated on the 24th, 2 times 4 equals 8 day. We read in Parshat Shmini in the book of Leviticus, Vayhi bayom hashmini, and it was on the 8th day that Moses called to Aaron and his sons and the elders of Israel. He said, Aaron, take a calf of the herd for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering without blemish and bring them before the Lord. And speak to the Israelites, saying, Take a he-goat for a sin offering, a calf and a lamb yearling without blemish for a burnt offering, and an ox and a ram for an offering of well-being to sacrifice before God, and a meal offering mixed in. For today the Lord will appear before you. Well, I'm happy to report that while both the Mishkan and Hamakom share an opening date, there will be no animal sacrifices here this morning. The word for sacrifice in Hebrew is korban, the root word which means to come close. Sacrifices were our ancestors' way of coming close to God. Today we have different sacrifices. I'd like to suggest the sacrifice of time, treasure, and talent, all of which have been graciously and abundantly offered up in order to bring this space and place to creation. Just as our ancestors gathered to mark the formal dedication of the Mishkan so many years ago, today we too gather to mark the formal dedication of Hamakom. The word Hamakom literally means the place. However, it is also a name for God. Oftentimes this name for God is used when we need some additional TLC, some tender loving care. We greet mourners with, "May God, Hamakom, grant you peace among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem." Hamakom, the place in which God will comfort you, support you, help you through difficult times, encourage you, and nourish you. God, the place, opening up her arms to sustain us. There is nothing other than the place. There is no thing other than God. All is one, and we are connected to that oneness. This new place, Hamakom, will be a place to help people connect to Hamakom. Here, students, teachers, employees, parents, friends, and many others can come to pray outside, to walk the labyrinth, to sit quietly, to meditate, in the hopes of connecting to nature, connecting to oneself, connecting to one another, and ultimately connecting to the ultimate one. Being outside in nature allows for an expansiveness, a spaciousness, an openness, and provides fresh perspectives. Reb Nachman of Bratslav, the great-grandson of the Baal Shem Tov, who founded the 18th century Hasidic movement, preached the importance of going outside in nature every day for meditation and taking time to talk to God. He truly understood the magic of being outside in nature and talking to God as if one would talk to a friend. As we dedicate this sacred space, I offer to you one of Reb Nachman's beautiful prayers. Master of the universe, grant me the ability to be alone. May it be my custom to go outdoors every day, among the trees and grass, among all growing things, and there may I be alone and enter into prayer, to talk with the one to whom I belong. May I express there everything in my heart, and may all the foliage in the field, all grasses, trees, and plants awake at my coming, to send the powers of their life into the words of my prayer, so that my prayer and speech are made whole. Through the life and spirit of all growing things, which are made as one by the transcendent source. May I then pour the words of my heart before your presence like water, O God, and lift up my hands to you in worship, on my behalf and that of my children. May we all be blessed to have so many wonderful opportunities to be in Hamakom with Hamakom. I'm so happy that my dear friend Marianne's vision indeed has been actualized today, about 1 year after that wonderful phone call. Yesterday we celebrated Yom HaAtzmaut, Israel's 67th birthday. Theodor Herzl, the father of modern Zionism, said in regard to the founding of the Jewish state, Im tirtzu ein zo agada. If you will it, it is no dream. Marianne, you indeed did will it. It is no dream. It is now a reality.
Thank you very much, Amy. I don't know if you saw butterflies that were flying back here. Do you want to put the butterflies down, Cindy? We're going to have a butterfly release. They just arrived. For beautiful butterflies. Thank you so much. I'm going to put them in the middle of the space there. We are going to release them, but not quite yet. All right. In the Boca Reserva. There we go. Okay. Thank you so much. They are preparing. So next, I want to call up my good friend, Congressman Ted Deutsch, who represents Florida's 21st District in the House of Representatives, home to communities throughout western Palm Beach County and Broward County. Ted has championed the priorities of the Jewish community all of his life, from his days in Jewish summer camp, yes, Camp Ramah, to his pro-Israel activism in college, to his leadership roles in local and national Jewish organizations. Ted's been spotlighted by the Washington newspaper Roll Call as a rising voice in the House Democratic Caucus and was named one of America's top 10 Jewish politicians to watch by the Jewish Daily Forward. Please welcome all of our good friend and Israel's good friend, Ted Deutsch.
Thank you, Marianne. I speak, so I've often been the only thing standing between a crowd and its dinner, sometimes a crowd and its dessert. I have never been the only thing preventing a crowd from watching a butterfly launch. So I won't speak long. So Marianne Altschul lectured me one time. We were sitting at dinner, and I was doing what I so often can't help myself from doing. I was looking at my cell phone. Everyone who knows Marianne knows it's a really bad idea. And she told me that it's really important, if you're going to engage in interpersonal dialogue, that you be in the moment, and that you can't be in the moment if you're looking at your phone. We live in a really noisy world. There is noise that we see coming at us, some silent noise, the billboards that we passed on the way here, the noise of television, and the noise and the draw of our mobile devices that so often make it difficult for us to live in the moment. Marianne understands that. And for me, I work in a place that is noisy, that doesn't often allow for reflection. And so when Marianne asked if I could just come say a few words this morning, I thought a lot about a place where I learned to be reflective, where I learned to think and to connect with God. And that was at camp. And that was in our outdoor prayer area. And that was where we got to come together as a community to reflect and to think and to just be with one another. There is, in this really busy world that we live in, it is a place that is sometimes difficult for us to take those moments. And to Marianne, I want to commend you for your vision of this place and the opportunity that you and Donna Klein and the Federation are giving to all of us to come to a place where we have the chance to reflect. We would all be better off if we all strive to be a little more mindful, to have the opportunity to live in a moment. When I think back on all of my years at camp, those moments that I enjoyed were moments where I was doing this, in this kind of setting, surrounded by friends like all of you, although younger and a little more mischievous. And so as we get ready to dedicate, as we gather here to dedicate this beautiful space, it's my hope that over the coming days and weeks and years, that all of us have a chance to spend time here, to become elevated, to become inspired, to become perhaps a little more joyful when we have the opportunity to pause and to think about all that we are so blessed to enjoy here in our Jewish community, in our broader community, and in this world that we celebrated this week with Earth Day, in this beautiful world that God has given us. It's really an honor and a pleasure for me to be here. Congratulations, Marianne. Congratulations to all of you who are here, and thanks for letting me participate.
Thank you so much, Ted. We are so grateful to have you in this community and to have you representing all of us in a really tough job and a really tough time. And I hope you find a lot of strength in this place and know that it is yours in your home. Next up, and for those who are standing, Amir, I see you've come in. There's seats here, and there's a few seats that I can see, 4 seats that are here in the front row. If you guys want to come in and make room, I don't know if there's ways that we can move over to accommodate everyone who's standing back there. If they'd like to come in, feel free.
You're not going to be asked to speak if you sit up here, I promise.
And everyone is a VIP inside Hamakom, right? Everyone in here is a VIP, so please come and take a seat. So, Matthew C. Levin, President and CEO of the Jewish Federation of South Palm Beach County, has a powerful vision and commitment to building and strengthening our diverse Jewish community. Matt is deeply inclusionary and committed to engage and connect our larger Jewish community to meaningful and relevant initiatives and services. This space here would not be possible without his partnership and vision. And Matt, thank you for saying yes in the parking lot, which we will explain later. We welcome Matthew C. Levin to the podium.
So I'll get the parking lot out of the way right now because it's going to hear about it a lot. But it's an important moment to tell you about what's happening on our campus today. Literally a year ago, and I've known Marianne and the family for a long time. But Marianne, we stopped in the parking lot. She said, "Can I talk to you?" And Marla, I think you're with me, and we sat and we were listening. And Marianne said, "I had this dream, and I really wanted to do this, and it's." The passion, as any of you who know Marianne, has this incredible passion for our community and for our kids and for what she does and her spirituality. And Marianne, of all the members of the family, I probably spent the least amount of time with over the years, and I didn't know that well. And we sat and we literally standing under the metal superstructure out there said, "I really want to do this." And it was a no-brainer. I mean, I'm not sure why there would be a question about whether or not we should or shouldn't do this. We have kids on campus. We have groups on campus. We have elderly who live on our campus. Why wouldn't we have a prayer space on campus where people could gather and do what it is that they want to do in our prayer space? And Marianne, what we do in a community and what Elena does and what I do and what Marla does and many of the professionals in the organization is have great leadership with vision. And so you told me not to thank you, but I'm going to thank you because Donna Klein and this campus and this community are blessed to have you. And the fact that you would put the passion and the urging to make this happen. So thank you and congratulations to you. And I'd also say it's reflective of what a community and a great community could be. The fact is that I said as earlier, Marianne is part of a larger door-to-door generation in this community. Karen and Larry who are with us today, have been part of our community and a former board chair involved in our federation and our community for a long time. Eric and Marianne in their own right have been engaged in our federation and young leadership and in the school. And today their kids are on our campus every single day. It's what we're trying to build in this community. And by bringing you to our campus and by doing everything we can on our campus to build a spirit of Jewish continuity and a place that people could call home. You walk on our campus today and you come in the front entrance and you see this huge structure, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about Sinai, but a place where seniors could come and live among a community and feel part of a greater Jewish community. You've got HUD housing where seniors live every day with security and dignity because they live on a campus that's secure. You have special needs folks, people with developmental disabilities who live on our campus 24 hours a day at JARC. You've got the youngest in our community who come to preschool. You've got the kids at Donna Klein who just create this energy and this passion on our campus. You can feel the buzz when you walk on our campus every day, in part mostly because of the kids on the campus. This is our home. And what we're trying to create on this campus is evidenced by something like the prayer space. It's a place that wherever you come from within the Jewish community, and frankly without outside the Jewish community, but within our Jewish community, this is a place that everybody can call home, rich or poor, young or old. That our Jewish communal campus has meaning. It has meaning in the lives of every single Jew living in South Palm Beach County. The prayer space to me is part of that illustration. My kids make fun of me because at night when I need to unwind, I literally at 10 o'clock at night go sit on the back porch and I have a little Sony sound bar and I put my iPod on and I put it on shuffle and it'll be Frank Sinatra or it'll come up with Led Zeppelin, and every once in a while it's a really loud rock song. And at 10 o'clock at night my 15-year-old comes in, you got to turn that down, you're going to wake up the neighbors. But that's my labyrinth, is sitting out there watching the world go by and listening to my music. That's how I unwind at night. I said to Marianne a story. I came one afternoon, I was driving by, I was actually doing a tour, and I noticed there were some kids out here, and I said, okay, well I'm going to drop the donors off afterwards, and I was going to come back and see what was going on. You know, high school kids on campus, God knows what they're doing. I'm just kidding. And of course, two or three kids were out here, and they were doing on their own a prayer. One of them had wrapped some tefillin on, and they were sitting there having a conversation, and they were talking, and because they needed a place to go to talk about academics or whatever it is that they were doing. That's something special. It's something that we simply can't ignore, and it's something that we need to push. I'll close with the last piece. As we speak, 80 some odd kids from our community are on the March of the Living. In Poland, they're now in Israel. They celebrated yesterday what was obviously a incredible day, and with the March of the Kotel. My wife is on the adult March of the Living bus, so she's there at this point. We think about what Jews do every single day. We teach our kids, we continue to learn, we continue to work towards a Jewish continuity. And a Jewish continuity meaning literally that there's a timeline between the past, the present, and the future in everything we do as Jews and as citizens of the world. And what happened both in Israel yesterday with those on the March of the Living, those on our PAC mission, and what we do today on our campus every single day is about building a better Jewish future. And so I hope everybody will come and use our campus, use our prayer space, our labyrinth, our Hayarkom, and make it your home. Because at the end of the day, this is about putting your own backyard together. It's about building your own home and having you all come and use it. And I'll give you one last charge, and then I will stop. There's not enough people know about your home. I would ask each and every one of you, the young people who have been in our community for a long time, tell people to come to our campus. Not enough people come and see what we do here every single day. It's unique. It doesn't happen. It's not a campus like this all over the country. You can ask our friends from Cleveland and they'll tell you there's a great Jewish community with lots of buildings out in other places. You go to Baltimore. You go to the biggest communities in the country. Not everybody has what we have. It's unique, but we need to celebrate it. And I'll just say one last thing, and this will be my last point. This doesn't happen by accident on this campus. It happens because somebody takes care of our campus every day. The person most responsible for doing this is the Vice President of Operations for this campus, who literally every day walks this campus making sure that everything is going right. And that's Tom Florenza. And if everybody, Tom, raise your hand. If you see Tom on this campus, any day of the week, say thank you. Because he has the hardest job in this federation. Thank you for listening and thank you for coming today.
I agree with the statement about Tom Forlenza. He is absolutely an incredible human being, and if you don't know him or haven't met him, you must go over and introduce yourself to him. He has been sensational, and this would not have occurred either without his help. We'll talk about that in a bit. But our next speaker is Amir Randell, and Amir has been a champion of Hamakom and the Labyrinth since its inception. Amir is an outstanding and award-winning Judaic Studies teacher at the Claire and Emmanuel G. Rosenblatt High School. Amir's been teaching at DKJA for 19 years, and he will be discussing the name Hamakom. In addition, he has brought Noah Tansman, a junior at DKJA High School, to share the students' perspective. We welcome Amir and Noam.
So good morning, everybody. Sometimes when you say 19 years, it sounds like a long time. It's incredible because to see the growth of our school and our community has just been transformative, not just for everyone here, but for me. I feel like I've grown up on this place in many ways. And when I think about how Donna Klein Jewish Academy has grown in so many incredible ways, I've seen the academic growth, I've seen the physical growth, I've seen our students excel and just go to these incredible places, and they always come back and tell us how meaningful everything is here. When Marianne about a year ago told me about this idea, about this concept, and being Marianne, knowing that it was going to be fantastic, and being friendly and friends with Marianne, I thought, wow, I can't wait to see what this journey is going to be like. How is this going to add another wonderful layer to what we do here as a school? About a year ago when we came here, there was literally nothing here but just this grassy kind of hill, if you will. And I remember the first time we kind of piloted it with my sophomores at the time at the high school, and we came out here and we just sat here, I remember, on this big grass here, and we just talked and we just connected. And we were sitting on the grass, laying down and finding this incredible inner place that when we spoke about, the students were saying, this is something very different. We have so many areas in our everyday lives that we work, that we strive for greatness in so many different places, in so many different ways. The stressors that just come naturally from the day-to-day life. And what a great place this is that we can then put everything aside. Here, grades don't matter. Your prowess, athletically, academically doesn't make a difference. This is where you can kind of get down to basics. And when we kept talking about coming back here, they kept referring to as, let's go to the place, let's go to the place. And then when we were talking about what do we call this place, it just became a very natural kind of transformation to call it the place, or in Hebrew, Hamakom, which may sound like a very trite, very simple kind of name. But if you really go a step beneath that, you understand that Hamakom, also being one of the names that we refer to God, to Hashem, to really adds that incredible layer, that level of depth, where something that can be so simple, so basic, can also be so incredibly powerful and spiritual. And as I said, it's the place that we all need. Sometimes we physically, it's like we have to put on our calendar the time to take a time out and to recharge and to sharpen the saw. We need a place like this just as desperately as we have a science lab, an athletics center, academic labs. This is such an essential piece to our growth, to our moving forward, and to charging and recharging, so we have even greater strength to move always from good to great. And this is really what this place is about. I could go on and on, of course, because there's so much, and I feel I've seen that this place has become in the past year. It's become a hallmark for our students of let's go here. I've had so many incredibly deep and inspiring conversations with my students who sometimes as a group, sometimes one-on-one, have opened up and spoken to me. One of them said, wow, I don't know, there's something about this place that just makes me feel so at ease. Maybe it's the open space, it's not having the confines of the indoor. But there is something that is not tangible, that is spiritual, that is incredible, that just has us gravitate toward this place. And this is what this Hamakom is all about. A simple, beautiful, spiritual place that if you allow yourself can be something extraordinary. I want to introduce one of my students, Noam Tansman, who was there really, as I feel like, on the ground floor before this was anything more than just a grassy kind of open area. And I'd like him to have the opportunity to reflect a little bit of his thoughts on this place.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Noam. I'm a junior here at Donna Klein. Hope everyone's okay with the rain right now. So besides for this place being incredibly aesthetically pleasing, of course, my favorite part about this place is the ability to escape the anxieties that come with everyday life for a short while. Or to do the opposite and reflect on my day. Or I can come outside and eat lunch with my friends freely and comfortably. This idea that I have the choice to do what I want with my time parallels my fondest idea of meditation. I do it for the reasons that I want. Kind of similar to Donna Klein, pluralistic school. You have the ability, sorry, I'll finish up real quick. Really, the idea that you should be comfortable with your Judaism, and all walks of Judaism are welcome at Donna Klein, and you guys get the idea. Thank you very much.
We are going to, what are we going to do, Cindy? We're going to try to launch the butterflies. All right? You've come here for the butterfly launch. Let's launch the butterflies. There are awards that I want to give to people, but I will find you for helping us. Elena, do you want to come up and close?
Right here. It's not really raining with a butterfly. I'll do it quickly. Ready?
Oh, we met.
So before we launch the butterflies, really wanted to thank everybody for coming out. I guess the weather is not on our side, but I think maybe this was just a quick moment. I wanted to also say, I know Marianne didn't want me to say this, today not only is it the birthday of Hamakom, it's also Marianne's birthday. Not let that go by. And I wanted to end with a poem by Paul Fowler. Let me stay in this peaceful place where there's never a worry nor a care. Time is of no consequence here. Given the choice, I'd always be there. The place where I can work, hard or not, the place is solely determined by me. Time to count all the good things I've got. The attraction here is for all to see. When days are hard and I want some peace, let me stay in this peaceful place. So if I could end with those words, Mazel Tov to everyone that made today possible. And may this place be incredible. And let's release the butterflies.
Mary, to make a wish when you release butterflies. So if everybody would take a moment and make a wish. And Eli, you got to open it up.
No, I'm sorry.
It won't fight, Eli.
The rain is stopping. Butterflies are flying. I'm going to read the butterfly legend. If anyone desires a wish to come true, they must first capture a butterfly and whisper that wish to it. Since a butterfly can make no sound, the butterfly cannot reveal the wish to anyone, but the Great Spirit who sees and hears all. In gratitude for giving the butterfly its freedom, the Great Spirit will always grant the wish. So according to legend, by making a wish and giving the butterfly its freedom, the wish will be taken to the heavens to be granted.
Butterflies flying.
Do you remember Julie?
Oh, that's so cool that you're here. I'm talking about you a lot. I talk about you a lot, right? I tell you that? I say, isn't it great? Isn't it great?
Are they coming?
It's great. I said that 1980 touch.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. That's unbelievable. That's it. How many times we talked about you?
There are so many people that I really need to thank, and the purpose of today was really to be a gratitude ceremony. So,
15, 10, 4th, 5th, and 9th. I just got later.
Do you have anything else? Because I need to, I'm going to be leaving.
I really need to thank,
I'm not, when I leave, I'll look at it
close,
for me.
Matt Levin, President and CEO of the Jewish Federation, and Marla Weiss-Eggers. Thank you for saying yes in the parking lot and really understanding what this was all about. It would not have happened without you. I also need to thank Tom Forlenza, Vice President Facilities. Thank you for budgeting this and being such a mensch. Robert Kimmel, the Capital Project Manager, for your kindness and professionalism. We miss you today. I also really want to thank Karen Feller. There she is. Karen Feller, head of school from 1998 to 2014. Thank you for being the protector and guardian of this project. You would not allow this project to be derailed at all. This was very important to you. This was your vision as it was my vision. And I know that you were its champion from its inception. Thank you so much. Of course, Elena Levine, right here, current head of school. She is a visionary leader, always thinks outside of the box, and she really is the one that always understood this project. Amir Randell, my co-creator, thank you so much. Finally, where are Cindy and Craig Jacobs? This is a very important thank you. Where, did they leave? Cindy, there they are. Thank you, Cindy, come down here. And Greg, please come down here. Cindy and Greg Jacobs are owners of Sunquest Nursery in Delray Beach, Florida. Wholesale landscaping and maintenance. They always help us. Here we go. Here's Cindy. Everybody applaud for Cindy, please. You're awesome for staying in the rain. I love all of you for staying in the rain. You're all going to get awards from me for this. But Cindy and Greg Jacob are the landscapers. This place did not look like this until Cindy and Greg got involved. This entire creation, wave Greg up there, this entire creation is thanks to Sunquest Nurseries. You did a beautiful job, and we can't say thank you enough for all that you have done for the school always, not just here. Lauren Stein, thank you so much for creating the beautiful artwork entitled The Hope with the No Place for Hate students. Anita Schwartz, are you still here, Anita? I'm going to keep thanking, I'm still thanking her. Thank you so much for creating the reflection benches in honor of Karen Feller's 16 years of dedicated service. Amy Tessa, thank you. Our founding committee, Karen Feller, Sharon Camber, Yaffa Levitt, Hillary Ehrenstein, Sammy Montauk, Mark Schaefer, Anita Schwartz, Jody Orsham, Lauren Stein, and Phil. I'm just going to keep thanking you guys. Walk to your car and Phil thanking. Stuart Wexelman, wherever you are, Stuart Wexelman, board member, liaison, was at my side throughout this entire process. Really, thank you. Now, Jennifer and Craig Zoomer, our benefactors. I thank you. Hi, Julie. I thank you so much. Jennifer and Greg Zoomer were our benefactors for this project. Oli and Jonathan Lewis, where are you? They were benefactors for this project. And also, I really want to thank my husband, Eric Altschul. Thank my husband, Eric Altschul, for donating the Labyrinth and the beautiful eternal light from Jerusalem in honor of our parents, Karen and Larry, Norman and Judy, and our grandparents. We thank you all so much for coming. May this be a blessing for all of us in the entire community. I really appreciate you being here, and shalom.